This is day one of our epic Scotland adventure, where today we leave Dublin, head 200 kilometers north through Northern Ireland and explore the port town of Larne before catching the ferry across to Ryan and the Galloway Peninsula, where we get to the southernmost point in Scotland, the Mull of Galloway, before our overnight stop for the day. But first, let's get into the preparations and outlook for this video travel series. If you want to, just skip ahead to each of the main lookout points for this video: the town of Larne, our ferry trip crossing, and the Mull of Galloway. Let's get into it. So just a bit of background about us. We're a family of four living in Dublin. My name's David. I have a 4-year-old daughter Bailey, a 6-year-old son Bentley, and my wife Ferry. And this adventure is just an opportunity for us to get out of the day-to-day routine and go and explore Scotland. So we're excited to share this 18-day adventure with you. So it's Saturday and we're about to depart tomorrow morning on our family holiday to Scotland and the Isle of Skye. And yeah, it seems to be a beautiful evening here in Dublin. A bit of a calm before the storm. Weather system approaching. They've named it Storm Floris.
Good evening. The strongest and most dangerous winds brought by Storm Floris are forecast to hit Scotland. Gusts up to and exceeding 100 miles per hour.
We're driving up to Belfast tomorrow, and from there we're catching a ferry from Larne to Ryan in Scotland. And we'll explore a bit in the afternoon. We'll stay overnight before driving on to Berwick on Tweed on Monday, and then picking up our motorhome on Tuesday before the adventure really begins. And this is our first family holiday as a family since we got to Ireland in July last year, outside of Ireland. We did enjoy the Wild Atlantic Way and a motorhome in December, so you can clearly see it's something that we enjoyed so much, we decided to do it again. I think with 2 young kids, 4 and 6, it's a good option for keeping consistency and getting around and going off the beaten track. It'll be exciting. My new toy for the adventure is the little Mini 4 Pro. It's got its flyer IDs already, both for EASA European flying and the UK for flying as well. So very regulation friendly, so we should be able to get out and about and get some very good footage on the way. And we'll try and keep a documentary style adventure to complement those drone footage. And maybe if you're coming along to Ireland or Scotland, this might be useful for you to see what there is to see. We're looking to do the Cairngorms Snow Road up to Loch Ness. From Loch Ness, head up onto the NC 500. We're going to do it anti-clockwise, going up to John O'Groats, across the northern sections and come down the west. We've tried to make sure we get a variety of different activities, but keep a bit flexible. So looking forward to seeing what we can see, and I'm sure there'll be lots of walks, some drone flights, and lots of run-arounds on the beach with the kids. If the weather's good. If not, we'll still take it in our stride. Okay, so maybe just while I'm at it as well, 10 nights, 11 days, going on the NC 500 very remote. So there's a lot of motorhome camper sites. So slightly easier, more flexible solution than having to stick to agreed and pre-booked destinations every day. So if we want to speed up or slow down, we're totally in control. We've also done quite a bit of research just to see, do we need to really book in advance? We'll have a motorhome that's self-sustained, and we know that we only really need to discharge services every 2nd or 3rd day. And as long as you're driving enough, it'll charge the battery. So there's no need to necessarily have an electric book point. We're using the Park for Night app again, and we will try and keep an eye out for some cheap camper van areas where we can just have a stand for the evening. They say as long as you call ahead every morning, you should be able to find one quite easily on the day. If not available, we'll just keep driving along until we find one. So it'll be quite exciting. Before any good adventure in a car, it's always good to get the car cleaned out and ready to go, and that's exactly what we did as the clouds and the weather system gradually moved in. So just a quick note to self, probably a good thing that we took a day off before we start traveling tomorrow, so that we can kind of rest and get prepared, so it doesn't feel like a rush at the start of the holiday. So day one begins, an early start on the road north, heading up to Northern Ireland, Just a little bit of a time lapse giving you a view of how quickly and how rapidly the weather can change and the clouds can change, but just how good the roads are here in Ireland, in the Republic. But it wasn't too long and we found ourselves in Northern Ireland and pushed on quite a bit further. After about 2 hours, we finally managed to get to our first stop for the day. That is the town of Larne. Okay, so we just travelled from Dublin up to Larne and catching the ferry in a couple hours time. But while we're here, found a little bit of a monument to explore. And it's here at the Older Fleet Castle. No drone flying today, and just a little bit of an exploration. So just a little bit of information about Older Fleet Castle. The ruin sits on Curran Point, just south of Larne Harbour, overlooking Larne Loch. It is free to enter and it's in the State Care Historic Monuments. It is very ruinous and much of the structure is gone, but has an interesting history. The ruins that remain today are likely built in the late 16th, early 17th century. So there you have it. Quick little stop before we head back on our way. A couple hours before we catch the ferry. A lot of Union Jacks flying in Northern Ireland, the difference between the south and the north. While we still had some time, we set up driving north just to go and look at the Causeway coastal route. And this is just some of those scenes. Then we drove back down towards Larne again and still had some time, but were able to see the route again from the other direction and found Chain Park, where there's the Chain burial ground. Okay, so from this park there's actually some nice views. Bit of a stone tower there on the beach, distance away. And then it wasn't long until we saw our ferry coming along, getting closer and closer. Still a little bit of time, but it meant we were getting closer to getting onto it. So we finished up what we were doing in the park and the playground and started to head back towards town. There were some nice wall arts on the walls and plenty of those Union Jack flags around. Generally a nice little town. And it wasn't long before we were making the turn down towards the harbour. And we were just on time as we saw our vessel pulling in. Oh, there we go.
Look, Bailey. Huh?
There's
There's your
our
boat.
boat.
It's actually flipping big. Yeah.
Just a sideway, ferries. 90.
Seriously, camper van. I suppose he's climbing with his camper van onto the ferry.
We all are going to clear and ride. There we go. So this was our first ferry crossing in a car before. So it was a novel idea for us. Quite interesting to see how they stack all the vehicles onto a ferry. And generally well organized and quite connected. And then you got off and got to explore the upper decks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board the European Highlander. During the crossing to Cairn Ryan, our onboard facilities are open and include the food court and commercial driver's restaurant, serving a variety of hot meals, snacks, and drinks. In the unlikely event that it's necessary to evacuate the ship, you'll be directed to the ship's lifeboats, which will be deployed by the crew on command from the captain. All baggage must be left on board. Any passenger wishing to enjoy the comfort of our club lounge can speak with a member of staff at the guest services desk.
Bailey, you having fun?
Yes.
So the 2.5 hour crossing went pretty smoothly. We still hadn't yet seen the weather from Storm Floris arriving, but it was getting a bit choppier, and we just took in the views and enjoyed it as we got closer and closer.
I'm going to take you with you.
Kids remained relatively calm and enjoyed it, and as we were arriving to Ryan, we could kind of see some of the other Stena Line vessels departing. The holiday had officially really begun. We were starting to feel this was going to be an adventure. And as we got closer to the berth and came in for landing, it was time to head back to the cars and get ready to take off. We are starting to go. Officially driving in Scotland. While driving along, it wasn't long before we saw something very interesting. Clearly the wind is an issue here, but it's not going to stop your supper. Our first action for the afternoon was just to drive and check in at our Larne Country Park Estate property before we would head down towards the Mull of Galloway. So this was a nice scenic route, lots of greenery and animals along the route. We quickly unpacked our overnight belongings into the home and were basically ready to go after a short little break. The forecast was that Storm Floris would hit around 10 p.m. tonight. Would hopefully be warm and cozy. The roads turned to single track and the scenery kept changing, but a relatively quiet road this late afternoon time, about 5 to 6 in the evening. But it was very scenic, and as always, we found some animals along the way too.
It's a cow. It's not a sheep.
Cow. It's cool. Oh, it's 100 cows.
It's 100 cows, David.
150 cows.
Are they sheep?
No Highland coos yet, but these are definitely quite healthy looking animals.
Do you see the sheep belly baby?
It wasn't long when we were turning into the car park for the Mull of Galloway lighthouse. A few other cars around, but relatively calm and quiet this time of the evening, with some pretty epic views. And the sunset hidden just behind those clouds. Time for some photos and videos. Close the gate behind us. There it is. Let's go walk together. Okay, Daddy, follow you. So, just a bit of an evening chat. Bailey and I are going for a walk to the Mull of Galloway. There it is behind us. Yes, let's go down. Alright, come. Bit of light in the sky there behind the clouds, but calm before the storm. See what you see. No, it's for showing directions. Which direction are we going? The lighthouse is ahead of us to the east. There it is. So here we are. The southernmost point of Scotland, the Mull of Galloway. Land's End and John O'Groats are more widely known, but this was definitely a good kick-off point for our trip around Scotland. After a little bit of time walking around, not much more to see, we took the circular route back on the single track to the car park, but Bailey found a nice puddle. A theme you're going to see throughout the series. Jumping in muddy puddles. That looks like a lot of fun. And as if the holy rocks were not good enough, she had to get into her bare feet. When we got back to the car, I realized I left the camera on a time lapse, so we were able to see the hour or so we spent here. Sped up and just look at those clouds and the approaching storm Floris to make landfall from the west soon. As for flying the drone at the lighthouse, there was a no drone flying sign, but outside, on the way back, was able to capture some footage of the car just going through these single tracks, just to make you get a feel for just how narrow these roads can really be. If you've stuck around this long, I just want to thank you for watching and enjoying this adventure that we've been on. Here on Discussions with David, I have conversational style videos about all things life in Ireland, travel, drones, videography, and anything that piques my interest. So if you're interested in that and want to support my channel, just click the like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new episode coming out. On day 2, we wake up wet, windy, but well rested, with storm Floris having hit in the early hours of the morning. Bunnies galore, we set off on our road trip and aim to get across to Berwick-upon-Tweed by evening. We explore an abbey and ruin, a 4,000-year-old standing stone, and stop at several other castles and interesting stops along the way, and drive across the Scottish borders to the UK town of Berwick-upon-Tweed, where we get to rest before picking up our camper van on day 3, and the kids get to kick the ball around. Still very windy in the evening.
Thanks for watching.